Welcome back, everyone, to another up-to-the-time presentation. Today, we'll be looking at floors. What does the term floor mean? A floor is the bottom surface of a room or vehicle. Floors vary from simple dirt in a cave to many layered surfaces made with modern technology. Floors may be stone, wood, bamboo, metal, or any other material that can support the expected load. The levels of a building are often referred to as floors, although a more proper term is story. What is timber flooring? As the name suggests, it is a floor that entirely made of wood, preferably hardwood. Timber has always been used as a favorite flooring material of most homeowners because its beauty, durability, maintenance, and hygiene. What is a concrete floor? A concrete floor is typically one in which a flat slab is formed of concrete, which is either poured in situ or precast in a factory. Rebar, also known as reinforcement steel, is a steel bar or mesh of steel wires often used to reinforce concrete. Now we're going to look at some examples of this. This is what a timber floor would look like, and you can see timber here, and this is timber floor onto a concrete surface. Now this is the pool deck. As you can see, here is the pool here, and this is the deck. So one will walk out off this deck and probably splash into the pool. All right. Let's see another case. This is the timber floor construction. As you can see here are the joists, the floor joists, and joists run in this direction. And then the carpenter would come back and lay the tongue groove on top of the joist in the opposite direction. Right. So this is a timber floor deck in construction. It's not finished as yet. This is a concrete floor, and these are the bars, steel bars, the reinforcement bars that I discussed, I mentioned earlier. And this is the concrete here. So you will walk on top here. This image, you were able to see the steel bars, and we're able to see the concrete and everything that's layered going together to create that floor. Here's a clear image, what I was just describing. Again, you can see these steel bars. These steel bars are connected to other steel bars in here. Concrete there, concrete is all in here. Finish looks like polished concrete because it has that shine and that gloss to it. Okay. So we've just seen what a timber floor and what a concrete floor looks like. So this is a timber floor deck on concrete columns. Let's just explain this quickly. These are the columns coming up here. These are the concrete columns, block work. And have the foundation here. You got our steel bars. And what happens at the top now? Top here, this is I use a different color, I use green. This represents the tongue and groove boards or the closed boardings. That's where you would walk. And underneath that, you would get your floor joist. So I'm going to use blue to represent the floor joist. This is the floor joist here, which supports the closed boardings, or some people call them the tongue and groove boards. Right? This is the floor joist here in blue. Right. You're probably wondering, what's this here? This is a steeper wall, which goes to help support the flooring. It's made up of block work. This area is block work. This at the top here, that's our wall plate. That's our wall plate, right? So let me just try and see if I can scribble wall plate there. Plate. You would also find a wall plate in roof construction. That's where else you would find a wall plate. So if you are familiar with roof construction, you would also recognize that the wall plate occurs at the roof construction, or timber pitch roof construction. Now, let's look at the concrete floor. So what do we see here with the concrete floor? We see something similar. We can see the steel footing down here. And then steel comes all the way up. Here, the exposed steel right there. Then we get to this level here. What happens at this level here? This level here, these are the tiles. So those tiles are approximately 6 to 10 millimeters thick. Then this rests on about 100 millimeter thick reinforced concrete. And this black line here that you're seeing, this is the damp proof membrane. This stops moisture. So we'll call that DPM. That stops moisture from getting into your floor. And underneath that is your hardcore base. Okay. That's your hardcore base. And then underneath that is the earth. Earth or mud. No, you just call it earth because it doesn't necessarily have to be mud. So earth is a more general term that we would use. Okay, so today we are going to be constructing a timber floor and a concrete floor. We're going to combine the two of these. So we're going to have two floors, and there's going to be a timber floor and there's going to be a concrete floor. Let me just show you what a model looks like so that you can better understand this process. So here is a three-dimensional model. And on this model, we have here a concrete floor. That's the concrete floor, so we call that C. And over here is the timber floor, so we call that T for timber floor and C for concrete floor. Let's take a look at these connections before we start this process. I'm going to come here to scene one, and let's look. Here is the wall plate that I was talking to you all about. And this is the block work. So that's the block work here. So block work. This is the wall plate. And then this right here is our floor joist. Right here. This is our floor joist. This piece of timber, we'll call this floor joist. And then above the floor joist, we have our tongue and groove boards or our close boarding. So above the floor joist here, let me show another arrow to another one, and that is our close boarding. So those are the main elements to how this detail is constructed. But let's look at something a little closer, go a little deeper. We have here some connections. You see, these are the connections to make sure that the two members of wood are stable. The wall plate is stable to the floor joist. And throughout this construction, you'll be seeing connections. What are these connections? These are the brackets here. They're approximately 60 by 60 by 60 by 40. Yeah. And we use a very set of screws. These brackets. They're about 2.5 mil thick. Let me say thickness, you mean around here. Okay. Clear this. This is the thickness here. This is about 2.5 mil thick. I've seen some that were 4 mil thick. So they vary between 2.5 to 4 mil, these brackets. All right. I think this gives us a general idea of what this construction process is and what are the bits and the elements that we use to create this unit, which is a floor. I've been using, for my model, I use this 5 3/4 inch screws, right? And where did those go? I place those in right here. Now let's look at the concrete floor. The concrete floor is made up of the concrete, reinforced concrete floor, which is a layer of poured concrete with some steel bars sticking out to give it that reinforcement. And let's look at underneath here. Underneath here, we are going to see our damp-proof membrane that I have represented in black and white. Just get close to it. This is our damp-proof membrane here. And I have it represented in black and white. This stops the moisture from getting into the concrete floor. And underneath that, you can see a thin layer of sand screed. This is our thin layer of sand screed right here. Yeah, that's our sand screed. That's about 20 mil thick. And then below the sand screed, what do we have? We have here, this is our hardcore base. And that's about 280 to 300 mil. Yeah. So now that we have listed all the main elements that go together to creating this detail, I am now going to start drawing this detail in AutoCAD. So let's go over to AutoCAD and have a look here now. This is what a finished detail would look like. Finished orthographic projection. I can also show you what a finished isometric projection will look like. This is what the finished isometric projection would look like. As you can see here, this is the timber floor. This is a door. And then this is the concrete floor. So we're going to produce both these today. So without any further ado, let me get started. So over, but we need some specifications to get started. That's the one thing that I need to go through. So let's look at these specifications. I got these specifications from a previous CXC examination, and I think they are useful. I would encourage all students to just learn these numbers, have these numbers in your head, because they can help you outside the school when you're past this stage of your education. Excuse me. For example, when you're creating a foundation, this gives you an idea. You can use a 200 millimeter thick by 600 millimeter to create your concrete base at the bottom. And then you can use a 200 millimeter concrete block foundation wall to cast the walls from the foundation up to the floor level. So what does that mean? That means then that this would be that. That's the 200 on the short side, the 600 on the long side. And then you can cast a wall 200 going up there. So this gives you some practical numbers to work with rather than you guessing. Okay, so let's read this out. All walls are concrete blocks. All walls, concrete blocks, 150 mil thick, plastered on both sides. I don't think that would apply to us because we are only dealing with the floors, so that wouldn't apply to us. 300 by 300 millimeter column, that wouldn't apply to us. The doors wouldn't apply to us. The windows wouldn't apply to us. The roof would apply to us. But let's look at the floors. It says here, veranda is 25 mil by 150 mil tongue groove. Hardwood flooring on 50 mil by 150 mil timber joist. So this is useful information. Cabin, I'm going to use 10 mil tiles on 100 mil thick RC slab on 20 mil thick sand screen with 200 mil hardcore base. So they're using 200 mil for the hardcore base. I use in my model 280 for my hardcore base. No problem, we will use the 200. Lastly, let's just read the foundation. RC strip footing, 200 thick mil by 600 mil wide with a 200 mil concrete block foundation wall filled with concrete. 300 by 300 mil concrete column on 900 mil by 900 mil concrete pad footings. Okay. So this gives us some useful information. So let us break this. Let us use this now and create our orthographic projection first, and then we're gonna move on to the isometric projection. So I'm just setting up my screens now at this stage. Right. Okay, good. And I'm going to start off on what layer am I going to start off with? Construction. Yeah, that's a good layer to start with. Alpha line. No, I don't like how thick this construction layer is. This shouldn't be that thick. So I'll turn off my lines. And my construction layer should be thick. Let's start off with my construction. So what's the first thing I'm going to do? I am actually going to build the floor, the tongue and groove floor, on the 150 mil timber joist, and then I'm going to attach it to the foundation. So I'm going to start off with this floor. So I'm going to start off with the veranda 25 mil by 150 mil tongue and groove board. Right. So I'm going to offset my 25 mils up. 25 mil, and from this line I'm going to offset 150. 150. All right, so this is approximately my distance. This is approximately one tongue and groove board. Right, what I'm going to do is copy this distance now here, then array about 20 times. Yeah. Cool. So that's my 20 tongue and groove boards. I'm just going to use 20. So those are my tongue and groove boards in. Let me create my tongue and groove details so that, you know, this is done properly. Come here, and I'm going to create the tongue. So much am I going to use? Let's use 15. Sit next to it. 2.5, you say? Okay, that looks good. I'm going to copy this. Okay, 20 times. Okay, so I've copied it. It's in 20 times. Looks good. This last one, I'm going to take it away from here. All right, so those are my tongue group boards in. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to place my floor joist. My floor joist is 150 mil, so I'm going to offset 150 mil downward. Get my floor joist. That's my floor joist. Let me just close that off. So that's my floor joist there. And the way how it's being laid, that's all we need to represent the floor joist rectangle. Now, what am I going to do now from here? Now, we need to rest this on 300 by 300 columns. So let me just start. Where do I want my columns to start? So I'm going to start my column here. I'm going to offset it 300, which is basically 150 twice. So actually, you know what? I'll offset 150 so that people would be able to see that this is that this was made from 150, no, 150 plus 150, sorry. So this is my 300 wall. Now, I need to give this a foundation. So let's look here, and it says here 300 by 300 concrete column on a 900 by 900 pad footing. So that means then that wherever we get to our base, let's assume the base is here, this is going to be 900 by 900. Whereas the last one was 600 by 200. So if this is going to be 900 by 900, let me open up here, and I'm going to use 450. Why did I do that? Because the distance that I want from here to there is 900. So I want to split that 900 in half. So that's 900 there. And it's going to be 900 by 900, just going to be fairly massive. So I can offset down 900. Let's see how this works out. So that's what they're telling me based on that it's 900 by 900. So this is my concrete 900 pad. This is my column going above. So I'm just don't know the height there, but we will get back there later on. Now, I need to create a ground level. I am going to create a ground level around, you know, I think I'm going to bring this down further. So this gives me more space to play with. Yeah, and I'm going to create a ground level about around here. And then I need to put in my steeper wall, which is right over here. So this steeper wall is going to be 100 millimeter thick. Then start it right here. Right. And I'm going to set 100 mil thick. I mean, you know what? I'll use 150 since they said all walls are 150. Let's do that. Offset 150. Okay. Let's put in a wall plate Give this wall plate 50. I'll use 100. 100 is my wall plate thickness. Wall plate there, and then put my X to show. Okay, so that's my wall plate, and that's my steeper wall that's in there. All right. Now, let's just assume that this detail ends here. Because we basically join this with, we don't have any distance as how wide this veranda deck is going to be. We don't need that distance. We just need the elements that go together to create this detail. So that's the important bit. All right. So far we have in our foundation concrete pad, which is 900 by 900, it's very massive. We have our walls, block walls going up to create the column. We have in our tongue and groove board, we have in our joists, we have in our steeper wall, and we have the bricks that hold up the steeper wall. Now, let us create the connection here as to how the concrete floor interacts with the timber floor. Interesting. Now we need to step up. How much do we need to step up? We normally need to step up at about, let me measure the step up from here so that I can give you the correct distance. DI. And the step up is 175 mil. That's what we need. So I'm going to offset 175 mil. Here, that is where our step would be. That would be the finished floor level for our inside floor, right? I'm just assuming that in here is inside and out here is a deck. The our finished floor level. And let us check back with our specifications because it says here our grid size floors. Okay, good. Our RC slab is 100 mil thick, but the tiles, like I said, I'm going to put those at 10 mil. So I'm going to offset 10 mil above here for my tiles, and then from this line I'm going to offset 100 mil down to get my RC slab thickness. Okay, so this is 10 above and 100 below. So go offset 10 above, 100 below. Okay, 100 below, and these walls are going to be 150 thick. Although what it says here is interesting. The concrete block walls are 150 mil thick, but the walls coming up from the foundation are 200 mil thick, right? So we got to work with the 200 mil thick walls that they come up from the foundation up to the floor, not the 150 mil thick. The 150 mil would be above the floor. So anything above here would be 150 mil thick, right? Once it's below here, it would then be 200 mil thick because this deals with the foundation wall. So I'm going to come here and offset this now at 200. No problem. Good. In. So here is where the tile ends. Then I'll put in a layer plaster, which is 10. Yep, and trim off here. Yeah. So that layer plaster helps to clean up the surface before we paint it. So that's in. Now, what else do I need to put in? I need to put in my, so I can bring this up to here. Up to there. Now I can put in my 20 mil sans screen. Put in 10. So 20 didn't go in, so I can just delete that and offset. 20. Got my 20 mil thick sans screen, and then my 200 millimeter hardcore base. Right, offset 200 millimeter hardcore base. Cool. So I got it all in. And on this now, this goes down. So let's bring this down to at least one level so that we can all start our foundation line here. Let me just trim here. All right, so what am I going to do at this level? I need to create my 600 by 200. Find in the center, opening this to 300. I know your distance needs to be, total distance needs to be 600. I'm going to just set this down to 200. And I got that. Right? Draw a line there, draw a line to there, and that's it. I think I'll join these lines. J for join, select. These lines are now one horizontal line. Lines. Yeah, they're all joined. So that's my base. And now what am I going to do? I'm going to start hatching and start putting these into respective layers. So I need to cut off this floor because this floor doesn't need to go all the way back here. So I'm going to just snip this floor here. And so that floor would end there. And this essentially would be our floor and our concrete floor and timber floor detail. Now, let's start putting in some textures in here so that this can come alive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the ground a thickness, or what I should say, the earth here, a thickness of about 200 mil. Yeah, it's very important to do this. Now, I'm going to start putting in the hatch for the earth. And this is the earth hatch over here. And what hatch did I use? I use earth, and I use a scale of 200 millimeter. Well, just 200 is scale factor, and 45 is the angle. What I normally do is hit for hatch, put in, and then I would match these back here. Then I remove the bottom line of the earth, so to show that the earth continues. So I don't restrict the earth into a box, right? Now, next thing, I need to put in my concrete. So the concrete is going to be at the base. So let's go over here and see the concrete properties. What did I use? I used ARCONC, scale of 20, no angle needed. H for hatch. And put that in there. And the match drop that so I can get the color and it can go into the respective layer, the proper layer, which is hatch layer. And yeah, so that's my concrete in there now. Now what am I going to do? I need to put in my block work. This is my block work. I use ANSI 32. Again, that's ANSI 32. That's the code name. The scale factor is 200, no angle needed for this one. So put that in. This It can be done like that, or it can be treated like here. How am I going to treat this, resolve this corner detail? I think you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I know how I'm going to resolve this. Let's start putting in these lines which indicate the bricks. So each one of these lines indicate the levels of the bricks. What's the distance there between of a brick? The brick is about 200 mil. So I'm going to offset 200 mil and where that last brick line goes. Then I'll put the rest as concrete. That's 200, 200. Okay, so that's our roughly about there. So that means then this is concrete. In here, then will be concrete. So I can just start putting it in. But these is bricks, 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 bricks. Let's trim these in. So these give the builder an indication of how many bricks you would need before we get down to the base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 bricks, 5 levels of bricks. And then we get down to where our base is, our concrete base. Now let's do the same thing over here. Look for, remove this, remove this, remove this, remove this, making the detail look neat as I proceed. All right. So I don't want this detail here. I don't want this expression here to represent my concrete, but it's already in here. So I'm going to just max drop and change it to what I want, just like that. Okay. Also, all in here is concrete. And then max drop it. And that's our concrete. Now, I need to put in my blocks here. Block, block. Probably just might be in there. Concrete. You never know. In there, concrete. Anyway, let's move on. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. This is going to be earth down here. Let's open up that to show that the earth continues. This is going to be our hardcore, which is represented with these triangles. So what's the code? The code is ANSI 37 3100 scale factor. I select that and I'm going to change this to ANSI 37 and I'm going to bump this up to 3100. Yeah. Probably keep it at 2800 so that you can actually see the X in there that it's forming. Paste this now into my hatch layer. So far, so good. Okay, so far, so good. Now, what else do I need to put in here? I need to represent my tongue and groove boards. Let's look at the hatch that I used here for those. The hatch is user. Now I'm going to copy this hatch out, copy it out. Because I made my boards a block. You know what? And this is the hatch here. And I'm going to, so now I'm going to just analyze this hatch. It's user, scale factor of 5, and the angle is 45. I'm just going to put it in there. Yeah, be nice and easy. Put it in there. See, this represents the wood as we are cutting through the town growth timber. In, I'm going to put it into the hatch. There. That's good to go. Now, this one, change this angle to 0. And nothing changed. Change the angle to 0. Okay, the angle changed. And I'm going to put this at 10. Put it 15. Yeah, 15. This shows the grooves also in the wood. Represents wood if you're looking at it from the side profile. So I think all of my important bits are in now. What do I need to do to finish off this particular orthographic projection? I need to transfer these over to the outline layer. So I'm going to just turn this on. So I'm going to turn the match. And I'm just going to go around and change this. Why am I using outline? Because I'm cutting through materials. So I want to show the profile. Cut through these materials, right? That's why I really use outline. Okay, so this was an easy fix here. That was the issue. That was the issue. That was the issue. It was under. I don't know why that was so. Now, I'm going to just assume that you will start your bit here. Just a little cleaning up. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all we're doing now. Putting things into the respective layers. Drop this just right there, which is my reference layer. But this is looking a bit thick in here. Just don't want it looking so thick. Cool. So what is there anything else that I need to add to this detail? Oh yes, I need to add the sans screen, which goes around here. So that would be code AR sun, somewhere around here. So let's look for it. ARSAND. That's my sans screen. I'll put that at factor 10. Yeah. Now I'm going to put it into the hatch layer. And I think I've done it. Let me just transfer these construction lines into You just make them a thinner profile, because they don't have to be that thick. Wherever you see the construction lines thick, I'm changing them to a thin profile, right? Is yeah, does that quickly, nice and easy, and we are good to go. So let's review here. Let me save. Control S to save. Let me just review what I have here. I have my concrete pad base, which is 900 by 900, which is very massive. I have my concrete pad, 900 by 900 base, and this rises on a 300 by 300, sorry, a 300 thick concrete block wall going up. This is a column. This is my floor joist, and these are my tunnel groove boards here. Floor in here with my RC slab, 100 millimeter thick, resting on 20 mil sunscreen, hardcore base of 200. And then the rest here is just earth, just to show that the earth continues. All right. Cool. Now, what am I going to do now? I am going to label, and then I'm going to draw the isometric. So let's label. So I'm going to grab one of these labels here. Just put them in. This is, let me see, is this correct? Let me draw, set up my margin line so that I know that all my labels, you don't go past this line. We start right here. Okay, so this is concrete footing base 600 mil by 200. That is correct. So I'm not going to change that. And the way how I'm going to be how I'm going to label this is I'm not going to be writing any, I'm going to be pulling the notes from here to save time. Right? So this now would be my wall. This is my concrete block wall or concrete block work. And I'm going to change this because it says here, this one is 200. This one is 200 millimeters thick, but the note says 150. So I'm going to change the note to represent the thickness, which is 200 millimeter thick wide. Concrete block work, 200 millimeter wide. All right, there we have it. Now let's move on to the next note. This is my earth. That is correct. My hardcore, my sunscreen. I don't have that proof membrane in this detail. RC slab. So I'm going to grab these notes, seal for copy, grab these notes, and then just insert them over here. Okay, so this, I don't think I put them in properly. No problem. We can just rearrange them. So this is the earth. We move this up. Let's say earth. This is the sunscreen. This one will be a bit tricky, so I'll put that in probably from the top. This hardcore base, this needs to change. I doubt this thickness is 300. Let's just check. Now this thickness is 200 mil. So this will change to 200 mil thick. And my floor is not 125 mil thick. My floor is actually 100 mil thick. Let's just measure it. Mil thick distance down here. So I'm going to change this to 100 mil. Good. Now my sunscreen. That's my sunscreen here. So everything comes to here. Bring everything to this margin line. All right, so my sunscreen, 20 mil thick. That's good. That's good. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put in another note. Cut this, delete that, and bring this note here, bring this down here, copy this up to here, right in between there. Control A, select, backspace, then Control V. Okay, so I made it look neater. I placed this on screen in where it's supposed to be, the reinforced floor slab of 100 mil where it's supposed to be. What I need to do is I need to call it the tiles now. So I'm going to pull this out. Yep. And I think this is where I can do that. And I'm going to call that tiles. Tiles. And, okay. Now let's move over here now and let's start labeling the timber floor side. So I've labeled everything for the concrete floor. Now I need to move over and label the elements on the timber floor side. All right. So how am I going to do this? I think I can copy this over to here. Okay, we get a steeper wall, S-T-E. Wall. Up, and we get a wall plate here. Wall plate. Should I say the steeper wall is? I think that was 150. Let me just remeasure. Yeah, I use 150. I'll put that in as 150. 150 mil. Okay. Yeah. This one here now, this would be 100 by 150. 100 multiplied by 150 mil. Yeah. Okay. Cool. This now, this is the crazy hard foundation. Let's look back at the here and see what it says. Ooh, concrete pad footing, 900 by 900 on a 300 by 300 mil concrete column. So I'll put this as 900. And this will call it up as concrete footing, 900 mil, 900 mil. All right. Let me call up these right here. Call this as column. 300 mil. Let me just bring this closer to the action. Okay, so far so good. So we got our wall plate, our steeper wall, the columns 300 mil, the concrete pad footing 900 by 900. All right, now what we need to do is we need to call it the tongue and groove boards, and we need to call it the floor joist. And we're just going to do something like that. Points at the tongue and groove boards, double click there. Tongue boards. And these are 125. No, these are 25 mil. 25 mil by just remeasure. Yeah, got my tape. That's 150, and this thickness is 25 mil. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Anything else that I didn't put in? No, I think I got everything in. So I'm going to now add a couple dimensions before I finish this off. So dimensions, DIM. So I've added a couple dimensions here and there. And now I think I'm ready to get out of here. We'll call this an N. So this is my suspended timber floor and concrete floor. I've just placed that in. Now what I need to do is I need to identify the floor level line. Very important. So I'm going to project this line across here. The hidden line. And okay. Yeah, hidden two. MText. Create a note here. I'll call it finish floor level. Yeah, finish floor level. Can't see the note. It's very tiny, so I'm going to max drop it. But that doesn't work. Okay. Let's call it 5. No, 50 there. A to B. Let's call it 5. Five. 5 looks good, or does it? Does 5 look good? That's a good size. Let's try 3. Yeah, 3 looks good too. So I'll go with 3. And just closer to here. That's the finished floor level. All right. And yeah. So I can save this now. And I can now proceed to building my 3-dimensional detail. All right. So far, I think we're going good for time. Oh, I need to give this a label. So I'll just bring this up here. Grab it. Move it. Put it here. And I just like to put the human scale in so that everyone be able to understand, hey, this is what this will look like in reality, and this is how a human would feel in the space. Okay? Now, how are we going to draw this 3-dimensional detail? Well, first thing, I am going to be switching over to the polar tracking, and I am going to be using the 30, 60, 90, and 120 degrees. Let me just switch over there, and let's start. So I'm going to use this now to separate my joints, and let's start. Alpha line, and I know I'm going to start off with my floor joist. My floor joist is 150 by 50, right? So I'm just going to come here and let's make that 50. Let's come down here at 115. Let's go back here 15 in this angle. Okay, let me start over because I'm not doing a very good job of explaining how I'm using this tool. Alpha line, enter. And I know that my vertical lines are always 90 degrees. Always 90 degrees, right? Always 90 degrees. My horizontal lines on this plane, I'm be using 150 degrees if I'm going left. If I'm going right, I'll be using 30 degrees. If I'm going right up, I'll be using 30 degrees. If I'm going left below, it's 210. If I'm going right below, that's 330. So those are the numbers I'm be using. But I don't have to remember these numbers because once I get in the position, I get a green indicator that tells me that I'm on the correct angle line to use. So let's go. So I go up, which is 90 degrees, and that's 150. Thickness, that's the height. And I'm going to go to the left on the 150, and that is going to be 50 millimeters. So I type in 50, and I just touch the direction that I want, and I just type in the distance, and it does everything for me. That's why it's mode. And that there is the face of my floor joist. Right now, what I'm going to do is this floor joist needs to go back. How far does this go back? Let me just roughly get a measurement from the floor joist that I have here in. It goes back 2,850. So I'm going to, so I can copy, and then I can send this in that direction, 2,850. Okay. Now I can connect these lines there to that. So that's my floor joist in right there. But the floor joist occurs ever so often. It's not just one floor joist we're going to do. So I need to give this a distance. So I need to assume a distance now. How do I want to go about setting up my floor joist? And what distances am I going to use? Just going to move this slightly out of the way so that when I give this whole thing a distance, so let's give this a distance of, let's divide it, let's just pull this line out here. Again, I'm drawing this very loose because I'm not interested in so much dimensions. I'm interested mainly in just to sketch this out. So these dimensions, when you see me extend lines loosely, you can do the same thing too. That's div, divide, and I'll divide this into 3. Why did that appear? Because I need to go set my point type, which is my P type line, and change it from a speck of dust to some expression. It's there. So what does this mean? At these 3 points, I am going to be placing my floor joist. So that's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, my floor joist. My floor joist occurs at those points there. All right, so just remove the points so to make this look neat. Now, I'm not always going to see the floor joist looking this way because, for example, I'm not going to when clean this detail. We don't see this back here. We're not going to see this back here. So just removing this as I go along. Grabbing and deleting. All right, so I got that in. Now, I need to create the tongue and groove boards. Okay, not a problem. So let's start with that now. So the tongue and groove boards go up top here. So let me just come here in this corner and create my tongue and groove board. 1 tongue and groove board. So I go 25 mil, and then I'm going to go across 150 mil, and now I'm going to come down. So that there is 1 tongue and groove board, but I need to put in a little expression here. So I come out 15, and I am going to go up 2.5 here and bring this back in here, and then I'm going to go down the same 2.5 so as to give this total thickness of 5, right? All right, I think that looks good. And now I'm going to trim. Okay, so that is my tongue there. everything I need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, but I'm going to array. So I'm going to copy, I select the base point here, and now I'm going to go array. So then I type A to array, and it asks me how many I want to put in there. I put in about 30, just in case if it's not enough, I'll put in more. Hold on, but before I copy, let me this one. I think I got an idea. I got an idea. Zero copy, grab there, A for array, 30. So that's one way we can do it. We can copy array, but you know what? I don't want to copy just yet. I'm going to make one full one and then copy all of them into place. So that's the strategy that I'm going to use. Let me just make this one complete one. So that means I'll pull this. And reality is you're not going to get a piece of timber stretching all over here. So you'll probably get a piece of timber that comes up to here, right? And then you would have to add another tongue groove board there. Not going to. So this would probably be one tongue groove board, which goes this distance. Then you would add another one. See that? You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that. That, not that. You're just going to see timber there. So that's the tongue and groove board. One is placed. And now I am going to copy. I can give this a hatch. Now at this stage, let me go to user. And let me switch this angle to 60. I'd use 30. No, definitely not 30. 0. I use 0. And I use 5. Yeah. It's good. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Now, let's copy this and array this 20 times. Copy, copy, copy. I think I got all my selections ready to copy array. So, place here. This is my base point, so I'm going to click here first, then go and type A. Why am I typing A? Because the command bar tells me copy, specify, copy specific, no, copy, specify, second point, or array. So it says copy, specify, second point, or array. So I'm going to hit A to array, right? Enter number of items you want to array. So I need about 25 items. Just go 25. And that's there, and I just come and I click it in right here, and everything should be arrayed. Yep, done well. So I don't need it past here. So this is where I'm going to just delete the rest. It's better for me to array and then delete the rest, and you know, just think that that's better. Better in terms of time efficiency. So what am I doing now? I'm just cleaning out the bits that you wouldn't be able to see when these boards are laid down. It's lying back there. This won't be seen. Sometimes what I do is I represent these lines as hidden lines. Uh, Probably come back and do that later on. But for right now, I want to see this thing as is. Not particularly interested in seeing what is hidden lines under there. Okay, so that's in so far. What am I going to do? I'm going to put these from change these from construction to hatch, transferring the hatch. The hatches. Using the array tool really helps to save a lot of time. So I would advise my students to learn that array tool properly. Okay, so that's in. I can put them in around there if I choose to, but I'll just leave that there for now. Now let us go to putting in this column. So how far in do we go? 300 distance. Oh, that's a nice number. 300. Now I'm coming down. Create another 300 distance. And now so this is also 300. So this is going to go back in. Now, let me just move this slightly. Perfect. Then just double it. Okay. Let's just get placed under there. Just adjusting things. It much of a difference, but to me it does. So let's get this base now. This is a 900 by 900 massive. Here, that's 450. Then this will go down 450. And then this will come across 450. Oops. And grab this and copy it here. And then I can move this and put that in there. And this. Copy this line around. Copy. To bring this to a close. Copy. Trim. So good. I need to bring these lines through. Here we go. Column. And then you see the column. So should move it from this angle. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to trim. Okay, so that shows that the column is in and the column goes through there. All right. That is in. Okay. Strange, but it will come back to me as I see. That is the same face there. All right. I'll leave that there for now and I'll get back to that. Just clean this up because you can see this column will be going through there. Let me bring this column to closure. Let me talk. Yeah, this probably help. Mhm. Cool. So this is our square column, 300 by 300. It's already locked and loaded in there. I'll leave that there for now. If anything, I'll probably study that detail later on. Now, we need to just clean off here. Trim this. And then use join these lines. J for join. Enter. I'm going to do what's the distance from the town groove to the step up 185 mil. Or up 100. Thickness here, that is 200. 200 plus 200, and then comes in. All of my levels down to that point. We'll just Says intersection. So this base is a 600 by 200. Just center point. Perfect. Bring that in that direction. Okay, right there. Right there. Okay, see that? Cool, cool, cool. So far, so good. It's going to get in that direction. Now, I am going to put in the tiles. So let's put in the tiles. Thickness, about 10 mil. Pull this back here. 10 mil. Distance. See that up there. You know what? Let me just create this back line so it can extend. And fill it that to the tool and trim that. Thickness. And trim. Boom. I got in my tiles. And right. Stage now. This line goes all the way in the back. You just send that back in there. Okay, yeah, fill it these. Cool. Just my surface there where my tiles will go, so I can put a hatch in there and call it tiles. So let's look for net. Let's look. So I will use net, and I will probably use 500. Let's see. 1,000. I mean 1,000. 500. All right, and I'm going to change the angle. 30. Nope. 45. Nope. 16. Nope. This ain't working. So if that's not working, I create my own tiles. So I create my own square tile. I'll set this distance, set 500. All right, so this is my square tile. And I'm going to create. Copy. We go 6. Then extend. Yep. No copy. Select it. CO for copy. Come here. All right. A for array. Let's go 7. trim, trim, trim. So they're all in. They all look good. And now we can proceed. Right. So now excuse me, let us create the RC slab, which is 100 millimeter thick. So this means I need to come down 100. You put that in, give that a thickness. I didn't expect this floor to be this long. It's true. I might clean it up when I'm finished. That's my RC slab there. Now I need to come down and move this down 20. Move it, copy it down 20. So go for copy and push it in direction down 20. Then copy this last one down. How much is this one? Let's check. How much is the hardcore? 200 mil. So bring it down 200. Copy that. And lastly, the earth is about 100 mil. I think I got everything there. Now I just need to place these into the proper layers and hatch. I think I'm going to move the position of this column so that it reads better. That's what I am going to do. So this whole column expression, I'm going to move it so that it reads better in this drawing. Yeah. So let's clean this up now. Clean this up. So this now. Up there is where I want everything to be. Move this over to here. What that means then that once it goes through this hole, I don't see it until it appears. There you go. Okay, solve the issue. So just clean up here. Let's extend everything to this line. Then I'm going to trim again. This is technical drawing. Welcome, folks. spot here. Like that. And you don't need to see that down here. And will not see, and this will be extended to there or somewhere in the. Then of course you don't see this. You're not going to see that. And that is how that would be expressed there. So the column goes right through the tongue and groove boards. That is what I was getting at. This is what I wanted. So this is my part of detail. And should cap this off. Top here. Yep. Trim, trim, trim. Extend. Extend, extend, extend. Okay. So let's save that. And let's observe what we've done and try to analyze if we are going right. So I got in my column. So my column comes up, column is up. Got in my tongue groove boards. That area has been resolved. Got in my floor joists. Now, I need to put in my steeper wall. Yes, my steeper wall needs to go in so that I can show the support here. Sit between 211. So let's just copy this. Oh, so now copy this out in the direction of that's 150. And this one, just copy this down. Now that's 100. Level. Well, I'm going to move this. We put it towards there. Things look better when you view them. Goes back. Direction. In that direction. Right, cool. So that's the ground line there. That's my ground line there. Okay? And this ground line continues on this way. Continue there. That. All right. So far, so good. Now, right, I'm going to start hatching. Or do I need to put in anything? Oh yeah, I need to put in these tongue groove boards here. So we can grab a few. Put them in. Okay, so those are in. That means now let's take this one. All right, and what am I going to do now? Trim here, trim here. It's not going to see these anymore. So some I'll leave exposed, and some I will put them in properly. Just leave that there exposed so that you shape the detail better. And what needs to happen is that these tongue boards need to be divided because they're not going to be one strip right across the whole floor. Come on, just delete this. Bring these and terminate these ones here. Like that. Extend. This process here calls for a lot of cleaning up, a lot of just going back and forth, drawing lines, trimming lines, and don't understand the general gist of how it's going to go. You would get lost in between. That's just the reality of it. Yours doesn't have to be this complex, you know, simple, or you can take the challenge. It's up to you. Okay. Right, this line here. Right there, the center. Yeah. There, I want to copy that. Remove from there. And that. So that takes care of that. That takes care of that. So there's a hole in the floor. There, so you know. So there's a hole in the floor. And also there's a hole here. So you can see the tongue boards and you're able to see floor joists at the same time too. Right. Soon finish here. Cool. I think that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Now, the next thing I need to do is I need to put these into respective layers. So everything that's being cut through, needs to get a profile. Beauty. Imagine you had to do one of these in a CXC examination. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yes. I'll probably actually opt to do it by hand. Right here, I'm helping. And this is my timber floor. It is my concrete floor. Now I am going to hatch. Okay, so I'll finish hatching, and at this stage I'll recognize that I can get two details out of this drawing. I can get a detail where I cut through the concrete. Let me just show you here, where we're cutting the column all the way down to the foundation, and it's represented here. Concrete column all the way down to the foundation. That's what it will look like. And you can also get this second detail where we have the column in the background and we just cut through the floor joists. So we'll be just cutting through the floor joists and internal grooves right here. The column would be in the background. So those are the two details that you can get from this one drawing. Details are very similar. I pass the column is in the background, showing the column. So this brings us to the end of our session. What did we learn today? We learned floors, what the term floors mean. We did a timber floor and we did a concrete floor. I showed you an isometric projection and an orthographic projection of these floors, and I produced both of them on detail. I would advise students to practice this until you lastly subscribe and tune in for more daytime presentations. I am out.